So based on that idea that the beginner is like your expected return as a beginner is just don't lose money, like 0% return. Just don't lose. What would you say are good expectations for beginner, intermediate, and expert traders? So beginner is just trying not to lose. What is a reasonable return that an intermediate trader should expect? What's a reasonable return, like daily in terms of percentages, that an advanced trader should expect?
Well, what happens is the more successful you are, the more accounts you have. And all of a sudden you got a bunch of money here and a bunch of money there. And you're not trading all, you're not trading all your accounts. You might be trading one or two accounts. Let's say you trade one account, and let's say you have 15 accounts, right? And, so what's my return on that one account? Or what's my return on my trading portfolio, which might be 10 times bigger, all right? So, so if you have a whole bunch of accounts, you may trade maximum margin on one account, which is still only tiny compared to all your accounts. So it gets really complicated. When I used to trade, I traded online with guys, I don't know, 15 years ago, a long time ago. I don't know, 20 years ago, I don't know, long, when the internet started coming out. And instead of talking about percentage returns, we talked about points compared to a day's range. And a good, consistent trader wants to be making about a quarter of a day's range. So if the average range is 40 points, they want to be averaging 10 points a day, all right? And that's kind of like a satisfactory minimum for a really good trader. And some days they'll make a full day's range, 100%. So if the day's range is 40 points, they make 40 points on the day. And sometimes you'll get big swing days. And if you're a really good trader, you might make twice the number of points in the day's range. So if the day's average day is 40 points, some days you might get 80 points. All right. So instead of thinking about what percentage of your account,
right?
It's better to think about what percentage of the day's range. And beginners should be trying to make anything, right? 10 or 20% of the day's range. But when you're starting to become pretty good, if you're an active day trader, you're thinking about, I really want to make at least a quarter of the day's range consistently.
And then if you become, your goal for like the ultimate goal is like the full day's range, or in some cases double the day's range. And that goes to your earlier point where if you're trading the individual legs, then you can make more than the day's range because you're making money on the way up, and then you're waiting for the pullback, making money on the second leg. You can actually make more than day's range.
Also, as I said, on an average day, there are probably 10 reasonable stop entry scalps. So a 5-point scalp, and 10 times 5 is 50 points. So if you just scalp, you can do that, and you can make it in a day's range. And I said you're looking for a swing trade that's equal to 40% of an average day's range. So if you just take one swing trade and you're consistently good at that, that's 40% of a day's range, which is really good. And if you do it 3 out of 5 days a week, maybe you're averaging 25% of a day's range.